जय जमुनधीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय जमुनधीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधमाधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण राम राम हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय राधा माधव राधे जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद Srila Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanande. Readings from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, titled Ideal Family Life. Before getting into today's text, let us chant the auspicious invocation prayers. I'll chant and please repeat. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखातमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अबध्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Text 18. तस्माद् ब्राह्मणदेवेषु मर्त्यादीषु यतार्हतः तैस्तैः कामैर्यजस्वैनं क्षेत्रज्ञं ब्राह्मणाननु। तस्माद् ब्राह्मणदेवेषु मर्त्यादीषु यतार्हतः तैस्तैः कामयजस्वैनं क्षेत्रज्ञं ब्राह्मणाननु। प्रभुस मर्त्यादीषु यतार्हतः तैस्तैः कामैर्यजस्वैनं क्षेत्रज्ञं ब्राह्मणाननु। माताजी। तस्माद् ब्राह्मणदेवेषु मर्त्यादीषु यतार्हतः तैस्तैः कामैर्यजस्वैनं क्षेत्रज्ञं ब्राह्मणाननु। तस्माद् ब्राह्मणदेवेषु मर्त्यादीषु यतार्हतः तैस्तैः कामैर्यजस्वैनं क्षेत्रज्ञं ब्राह्मणाननु। तस्मात् therefore brahmana deveshu, through the brahmanas and the demigods, martyadishu, through ordinary human beings and other living entities, yata arhataha, according to your ability, taih taih, with all those, kamai, various objects of enjoyment such as sumptuous food, flower garlands, sandalwood paste, etc. Yajasva, you should worship. Enam, this, Kshetrajnam, Supreme Lord, situated in the hearts of all beings. Brahmanan, the brahmanas. Anu, after. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaranda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation, please repeat. Therefore, my dear king, first offer prasada unto the brahmanas and the demigods, and after sumptuously feeding them, you may distribute prasada to other living entities according to your ability. In this way, you will be able to worship all living entities, or in other words, the supreme living entity within every living entity. Purport. To distribute prasada to all living entities, the process is that we must first offer prasada to the brahmanas and the Vaishnavas, for the demigods are represented by the brahmanas. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, will be worshipped. This is the Vedic system of offering prasada. Whenever there is a ceremony for distribution of prasada, the prasada is first offered to the brahmanas, and then to the children and old men, and then to women, and then to animals like dogs and other domestic animals. When it is said that Narayana, the Supreme Being, is situated in everyone's heart, this does not mean that everyone has become Narayana, or that a particular poor man has become Narayana. Such conclusion is rejected herein. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakhagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakhagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Danam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mao Vishnudaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Nitnamine Namacharya Padanita Kupapadayine Gaurakata Damadaya Nagara Gramatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Kathanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Vismrite Pritam Syat Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Hare Krishna. So, in this series of verses, Narad Muni is instructing Grihasthas that how to live an ideal Grihastha life. It's very important because most of the population in Kali Yuga is going to be Grihasthas. There are going to be very few brahmacharis and fewer sannyasis. So it's very important to know that what is the essence of Grihastha life and how to live proper Grihastha life. Because generally there's an idea that Grihastha life means this license for enjoyment. That I can get married and then I can enjoy. But according to Srimad Bhagavatam and according to our acharyas, it is not so. There is not big difference between Grihastha life and brahmachari life and sannyasi life, etc. Of course, there is sense gratification, there is association with opposite sex, But this is all very much restricted, and there are so many rules and regulations for such association, and one is expected to follow these rules and regulations. Also, Grahastha life is inbuilt with many safeties that one does not become overly attached to the home and hearth, that one does not become too much attached to his wife, one does not become too much attached to his children, one does not become too much attached to his property, profit making, because in Grahastha life these things are there. This wife, children, ata graha kshetra suta apta vittair janasya mohoyam ham mameti. So there is good chance that one can be carried away by this idea that I am the king and everything is mine. And for ladies, I am the queen and everything is mine. So not big difference between men and women in material world. Because in material world, everyone has Purusha Bhava, the idea of enjoyer. So as long as this idea of enjoyer is there is not much difference between man and woman. Man thinks that I am supposed to enjoy woman, woman thinks that I am supposed to enjoy man. So this idea is there. And then they think that each other is meant to serve each other. So husband thinks my wife is meant to serve me, and wife is thinking that my husband is meant to serve me. And children are thinking, these two people, they are so foolish, they begot me, they are meant to serve me. Why did they bring me into this world? So they have to serve me. Whatever I want, they should give. Otherwise, what is the use of their being father and mother? So, this idea of I am the enjoyer is very much there. It's a present danger in Grahastha life. Therefore, there are many things which are supposed to be done in Grahastha life. Every act is to be done as sacrifice. Yajnartat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So every act is supposed to be done as sacrifice. And the danger of Grahastha life is supposed to be understood clearly. In 5th canto, there is a very beautiful section. It's called the forest of material life, where Jadabharata is actually instructing King Raghugana that how is this forest? This material life is compared to a forest. And then multiple comparisons of those who are the ingredients and aspects of material life. That what are they? It's a huge description. We have gone through that description. Now we have come to 7th canto, where we are trying to focus on ideal family life. So, while the dangers of family life are there, but there are also certain duties of family life which can counteract these dangers. The duties of family life are framed in such a way that one always thinks that I am a servant. Dasosmi, I am a servant. I am meant to serve everyone. So the first responsibility of a Grahastha is to take care of other 3 ashramas. Take care of brahmacharis, take care of vanaprasthas, take care of sannyasis. The first responsibility. So in the process of taking care, the most important thing is to feed them. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha. It's all there in Bhagavad Gita. That they should be given proper prasada. So, feeding them means not in the mood of provider. I am the provider. I am feeding 1,000 people. I am the sponsorer. Because in ISKCON we have this sponsoring system that we can sponsor prasada. It's a good system. It's good that people can engage their Lakshmi. But then it also has some danger. We have to recognize this danger. That one can think that I am the provider. I am the sponsorer. And then in order to amplify the danger, sometimes we are also glorified. Oh, such and such has sponsored such and such thing. Then we are called in front of everyone. One garland is given, some gift is given. And then this danger of false ego getting pampered is there. Oh, see, I am so great. Of course, it's the duty of everyone to glorify them because they are doing nice service. But this glorification is the most dangerous business in ISKCON. As long as we are giving it, it is very nice. But when we start getting it, it is most dangerous. Because when we start getting it, then mind starts preaching to us, this is what you are. This is what you are. And then mind starts telling the false ego that please get puffed up. Let's get pumped up a little bit. This is what you are. You are a nice devotee. You are a very charitable person, very munificent person. But the Vedic injunction is not only to sponsor, but also to serve. It's a very important aspect that one physically serves prasadam. Not only provides money for buying the ingredients, but also cooks, offers to the Lord, and then serves. So when one serves prasadam, then one's false ego is actually properly treated, because one is trying to please the Vaishnavas. One is trying to do some menial service. One is trying to offer prasadam. And when one is serving prasadam, then one also is get treated like, hey, come here, put me this, give me this. So then one actually takes the mood of the servant. Dasosmi. That I am not the master who is actually providing them, but I am a servant who is actually serving them. So this mood of a servant is very, very important, because that is the counteracting force for this sense enjoyment which is naturally available in Grihastha Ashrama. This idea of aham and mameti, which is naturally available in Grihastha Ashrama, can only be countered by this sense of serving, sense of being a servant. I am the servant of brahmacharis. I am the servant of vanaprasthis. I am the servant of sannyasis. It's a very nice section, purport in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Prabhupada deals with how a sannyasi should behave with grihasthas and how a grihastha should behave with sannyasis. Where it is explained that Sukadeva Goswami would only stand in front of a grihastha's house for the duration of milking a cow, and only would accept little bit of milk from grihasthas. So there, while the duties of sannyasis are explained, but there are also very important duties of grihasthas are explained. A grihastha should not feed a sannyasi just simply to get some blessing or benediction for material benefit. One time one couple, they were sitting with Prabhupada, and then they were insisting, Prabhupada, please give us blessing. Prabhupada, please give us blessing. And Prabhupada was not saying anything. Then they said, Prabhupada, please give us blessing. Then Prabhupada said, you see these boys standing with me, all shaved up, shika. If I give you blessing, you will become like this. So you want my blessing or not? You decide first. So then they started moving backside. Slowly they moved from front, little back, gone. So sannyasi's blessing, when a grihastha is actually seeking blessing from sannyasi and also from brahmacharis and vanaprasthas, he actually seeks the blessing of the jewel of renunciation. Because the renunciation is the real jewel of a grihastha. Sometimes we think that grihastha should not be renounced. No, everybody should be renounced. Very nice purport is there, where Prabhupada is actually explaining what it means to be a grihastha in Krishna conscious grihastha ashrama. The context is that Advaita Acharya has invited Mahaprabhu for having lunch in his house immediately after Mahaprabhu takes sannyas. Because when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he completely forgot the external world. He was simply singing and dancing in ecstasy that he forgot to eat for 3 days. He did not eat for 3 days. He was straight fasting for 3 days. And his idea was that he should go to Vrindavan. And Nityananda Prabhu knew that this is not the right time to go to Vrindavan. So Nityananda Prabhu, being Nityananda Prabhu, he made a big conspiracy with all the cowherd boys who were there. And then he told them, see this sannyasi, he is singing and dancing and coming. He will ask you how to go to Vrindavan. Just show him the way to go to Ganga. And tell him this is Yamuna, and you go on the way, you will get Vrindavan. So because of this Nityananda Prabhu cowherd conspiracy, then Mahaprabhu was directed towards Ganga, and Mahaprabhu was going on the banks of Ganga towards Shantipur, thinking that he is going to Vrindavan. And then Nityananda Prabhu also sent someone to Advaita Acharya's house, and then he said, Mahaprabhu is going to come to Shantipur, you please come with a boat, and you receive him, you take him to your house, and please feed him, because he has not had prasadam for so many days. So then Nityananda Prabhu is waiting with the boat, and Mahaprabhu is coming. I am very surprised to see Nityananda Prabhu. Hey, Advaita, you have come to Vrindavan. You know that I am coming to Vrindavan, so you also come to Vrindavan. So then Advaita Acharya made that famous statement that, my Lord, wherever you are, it's Vrindavan. And then he expressed him the whole controversy, that how he has been misdirected by the intelligence of Nityananda Prabhu. And of course, he gives him one more set of clothes to change, and then he invites him to come and have prasadam in his house. And then there's nice description of how Advaita Acharya prepared prasadam to feed Mahaprabhu. So many different preparations were made, and all those preparations were kept in cups which were made of banana tree bark. And also, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions what type of banana tree. It has given about 33 sets of bananas. So, that type of banana tree, it has been taken, the bark has been taken, and the cups have been made of that banana tree bark. And then different types of vegetable preparations were filled in those cups. And Prabhupada writes in his purports that all our cooks should note all these vegetable preparations, and they should learn how to make these preparations. So, of course, it's a very elaborate affair. And then Advaita Acharya, he prepared 3 offerings. He prepared 1 offering on a metal plate and 2 offerings on banana leaves. So his idea was the offering which is given on metal plate is meant for Krishna, and the 2 offerings which are kept on banana leaf were meant for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So he made all these offerings, and when he was actually arranging these offerings, then it is explained by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami that when he was parting the preparations and then making it into 3 divisions, the preparations actually increased. The specific Bengali word which is used, I think, is badaila, that it increases. So this is a very important lesson which Prabhupada says in his purport, that when service for Vaishnavas and service for Krishna is done, then wealth and resources actually increase. They don't decrease. Because a grahastha is constantly worried that will my wealth decrease or not. So if my wealth decreases, then how will I maintain myself? The constant worry of a grahastha. Bank rate is decreasing, this is decreasing, money value is decreasing, and my earning is decreasing. So how will I maintain myself? Constantly grahasthas are worried about this maintenance issue. And then this kind of worry, instead of making them broad-minded, it makes them narrow-minded. Instead of becoming brahmana, they become kripana. And then they become very stingy. They don't want to spend anything. They don't want to give anything. They simply want to keep and make more and more profit. So this profit-making mentality of a grahastha is considered as miserly mentality. That grahastha should not make more than necessary money for maintaining himself. Of course, what is necessary? Another question. We are only haunted by this question. That what is that limit which we can say necessary? Just to walk, have a cycle, have a car, have a Lamborghini. What is that? This is sufficient. So everyone is haunted by this question. But in Shastras, the answer is clearly there, that how to understand what is our quota, what is our necessity. Very clearly it is there. There is a small book called Nectar of Instruction. And in that book, there are first 3 shlokas. Shloka number 1, shloka number 2, and shloka number 3. These 3 shlokas define that how life should be framed for everyone. And when one lives their life according to these 3 shlokas, then one actually understands that what is one's necessity. So this is how we have to define what is necessary for us. Otherwise, we will always be bewildered by what is necessary and what is sufficient. So, like this, there is wonderful arrangement made by Advaita Acharya, and his wife has cooked everything, and Advaita Acharya is offering the entire prasadam, entire bhoga to the Lord, and in that purport, Prabhupada actually writes that this is ideal householder's life. Husband and wife live together, and husband works very hard to secure paraphernalia for worshipping Lord Vishnu. So there is hard work, because Grahastha life means hard work. You cannot escape. Because if one becomes a Grahastha, one takes responsibility for running the family. So he has to work hard. But for what? This is very important. Work hard for sense gratification or work hard for worshipping Lord Vishnu. A wife who makes the husband work hard for sense gratification is considered like a tiger who actually hunts and drinks the blood of the husband. This is what Bhagavatam says. Children who actually squander the money of the father and stop him from utilizing this money for worship of Vishnu, they are considered as burglars, thieves. So one should be very careful. And a man who simply spends his money on sense gratification, what will happen to him? Very nicely explained by Kapiladev in 3rd canto, that when he is no longer able to provide for sense gratification, then the whole family rejects him. And then he becomes like a refuse in the family. They don't even give him proper food. They throw little food for him like they throw food for the dog. And then he simply lives by the mercy of those family members, begging them, please give me something, please give me something. And at the end of the life, he is actually blabbering grok, 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 like that. And then, in a very pitiable condition, he leaves his body. So, we have to be very careful when we live Grahastha life, that our life should not go in that direction. We should know that Grahasthas are meant to work hard for earning money, but that money should be utilized for worshipping Lord Vishnu. Yajñārtāt karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. So this should be clearly understood. A wife at home cooks a variety of food for Lord Vishnu and husband offers it to the deity. So there is no harm in cooking variety of food, but it should not be cooked for the pleasure of the husband or of the wife or of the children. It should simply be cooked for the pleasure of Vishnu. Sometime the wife asks the husband, what can I cook for you? And the husband also tells the wife, okay, make this, make this, make this. It's all good in Karbi family life. Considered very nice wife and considered very nice husband. But in the family life of devotees, the husband and wife should simply plan what would please Krishna. Not what would please you, what would please me, what would please the child. The mood should be how to cook to please Krishna, not how to cook to please ourselves. Because food is the most important thing. Yaggashishta sinasanto muchyante sarvakilbishaihi bhunjate te tagam papam epachanti atmakaranat. Atmakaranat means for one's own sense gratification. If one simply learns to eat for one's own sense gratification, one is simply eating sin. So one has to be very careful that while cooking, the mood is to please the deity. Because deity is the master of the house. We are simply the servants of the deity. The grahastha should have this mood that deity is the master of the house and we are simply the servants of the deity. Everything should be done for the pleasure of the deity. Cooking. Of course, Prabhupada says that after offering nice things to the deity, we can enjoy those prasada. That's good. That's okay. But not that I will offer to the deity and I will enjoy. This is called including Krishna in sense gratification. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that there are two types of devotees who are considered as worldly minded people. Vishaya Sangha. One type of devotee, he includes Krishna in his sense gratification. I like gulab jamun, so I will make gulab jamun and I will offer to Krishna. And then I will eat gulab jamun. Not because Krishna likes gulab jamun, but because I like gulab jamun. This is called including Krishna in sense gratification. Sometimes we have this wrong idea that this is Yukta Vairagya. It is not Yukta Vairagya, it is simply sense gratification. But including Krishna in sense gratification. So the wife cooks a variety of foods for Lord Vishnu and the husband offers it to the deity. After that, arati is performed and prasadam is distributed among the family members and guests. According to Vedic principle, there must always be guests in householder's house. I am going to read again. More for myself. According to Vedic principle, there should always be guests in a householder's house. In my childhood, I have actually seen my father receive not less than 4 guests every day, and in those days my father's income was not very great. Actually, I have also seen this in my childhood, that it's very common that guests come home and they don't come home after taking appointment. This is modern system, that when you have to go to somebody's house, then you first of all fix appointment. That, can I come to your house? Okay, you can come. Can I come at 9 o'clock? No, you come at 10 o'clock. This is not the way to receive guests. And suppose you go to somebody's house and knock the door without actually asking them. They look at you like some stranger who has come from a different planet. You don't even have the decency to tell us that you are going to come. But that's not the way a guest should be received. And that's not the way the guests come home. The guest just ends up at home. And the householder is always ready to receive the guest. So that's why guest is called Atiti. One who does not fix appointment and come. That's guest. If one fix appointment and comes, is not guest. And serving guest is like serving Narayana. Atiti Devo Bhava. So we should also know that how guest will come and how to feed the guest. Like even when I was a child, I have seen in many of our houses that always there is excess preparation. And always someone comes and eats. So never that the excess preparation goes waste. But even if someone doesn't come and eat, then in the night beggars come. And then we offer the food to the beggars. Okay, today excess, give it to the beggar. So beggar eats. So there's a whole system that how everything is maintained properly. And then when we eat, then we throw everything out, then the dogs come, they take the remnants. So this way all living entities are maintained. And there is no pollution because dog eats whatever remaining food is there and cow comes and eats the leaf because always food is served in banana leaf. So cow comes and eats the leaf. Zero pollution. Full recycling. It's a culture of living with nature. Even here is very nicely explained. The pots were not made of plastic. The pots were made of banana tree bark. Fully recyclable, 100% eco-friendly. We have all these fancy terms which we think that we have found out now, but Krishna consciousness naturally has these things. So according to Vedic principle, there must always be guest in householder's house. So in my childhood, I have actually seen my father receive not less than 4 guests every day in those days when my father's income was not very great. Nonetheless, there was no difficulty in offering prasadam to at least 4 guests every day. According to Vedic principles, a householder before taking lunch should go outside and shout very loudly to see if there is anyone without food. Scary. In this way, he invites people to take prasadam. If someone comes, the householder offers him prasadam, and if there is not much left, he should offer his own portion to the guest. If no one responds to his call, householder can accept his own lunch. So this is the standard which Prabhupada wants grahasthas in Krishna conscious family life to follow. The general idea is that there should be a mood to give. The whole grahastha life is framed with this idea that there should be a mood to give, not to keep. Because if one starts keeping, then one gets attached. Thus, the householder's life is also a kind of austerity. Because of this, the householder's life is called as grahastha ashrama. Although a person may live with his wife and children happily in Krishna consciousness, he also observes the regulative principles followed in any temple. So this is what is Prabhupada's expectation about grahasthas in ISKCON. That yes, we live with wife, we live with children, not wife, not husband. We live with wife, we live with children, but we are supposed to live as austere as those who are living in temple. If there is no Krishna consciousness, the householder's abode is called Grahamedi house. Householders in Krishna consciousness are actually grahasthas, and that is those living in the ashrama with their families and children. Advaita Prabhu was an ideal grahastha, and his house was ideal grahastha ashrama. So the house, when it is an ashrama, it is simply focused on how to progress in Krishna consciousness, not how to progress in sense gratification. So that should be the focus of grahasthas who live a Krishna conscious life. Of course, there is earning of money is there. Of course, there is facilities are there. According to one's own ability and according to one's karma and what Krishna wants us to possess, Krishna will give different facilities to different devotees. It's natural. Some devotees will have more facilities, some devotees will have less facilities. But the essence of grahastha life is to always remain satisfied of whatever facilities we get and not endeavor for more than what is given by Krishna. Edricha lapa santushto. That one is satisfied whatever comes providentially. Of course, this is very difficult to understand because we think that we have to earn our facilities. Even though Bhagavatam repeatedly says this, and it gives it with a powerful logic. Bhagavatam says, if you are not working hard to get difficulties in life, why should you work hard to get facilities in life? Like difficulties are coming on their own, then facilities will also come on their own. So one should simply work hard to progress in Krishna consciousness. This is what Bhagavatam repeatedly is telling us. That grahasthas, please be careful. That don't think that you have to work for your facilities. It's completely opposite principle to what the material world teaches us. That you have to work hard to succeed in material life. Even if you work hard, there is no guarantee of success in material life. In fact, there is guarantee of failure in material life. Parabhavastavad abhotajato yavanna jigyasata atmatatvam yavad kriyas tavadidam manovai karmatmakam yena sharirabandha. So there is guaranteed failure in material life by which one will simply get bound to one body after another body if one simply focuses on how to make profit. So this profit-making mentality of a grahastha simply binds him to bodily concept of life. Therefore, it is very, very important that a grahastha simply comes out of this profit-making mentality in life. One should not think everything as a profit-making enterprise. That, okay, I take this, how much profit I can make. I take this, how much profit I can make. I was actually reading a conversation yesterday, which is an interview between, which Prabhupada gave to a newspaper in New York. It's called Newsday. So then in that conversation, that interview, Prabhupada actually very nicely explains that how Krishna takes care of everything. The interviewer is asking that how your Krishna conscious movement is running. And Prabhupada is saying, it is because of Krishna consciousness. Then the interviewer is asking again that how do you provide for yourself? How do you provide for all these people? And Prabhupada gives a very nice example. He says that, see, Krishna is in your heart, Krishna is in my heart. Krishna is there as Paramatma in both of our heart. And then Krishna inspires you, you give $3,000 to this person. And you give me money. And Prabhupada said, yesterday Mr. Coleman came. We did not ask him for any money. He wrote a check for $3,000 and then he gave it to us. And Prabhupada says we put it aside for our projects in Mayapur and Vrindavan. So he very nicely explains to that reporter that how Krishna takes care. Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana pariyupasate tesham nityabhayuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. That whatever we lack, Krishna carries. And whatever we have, Krishna protects. We should have this faith. This is the essence of Krishna conscious family life. It is built on faith in Krishna. It is built on faith on the teachings of acharyas. It is built on the faith in the words of Prabhupada. And when a grahastha ashrama is built like that, then that is the most joyful and satisfying experience. Prabhupada says, no need to take sannyas. When the husband is qualified and when the wife is chaste, then there is no need to take sannyas. Unless one has a greater purpose like Mahaprabhu. Generally, there is no need to accept sannyas. Grahastha ashrama and vanaprastha life is good enough for Kali Yuga. Because it is most suited for Kali Yuga. To be in grahastha ashrama and then to take vanaprastha life. Stop here and see if there are any comments, questions. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you were saying we don't have to work for facilities. We get the facilities by providence. So what did we do? We did something in our previous life to get the facilities. What was it?
Whatever we have done, it's not only previous lives, there are multiple lives which we have gone through. In all those lives, we have done something good and we have done something bad. So according to whatever we have done something good and whatever we have done something bad, the prarabdha of this life gives us something good and something bad.
Do you mean giving charity in previous life? Giving charity? What do you mean by doing something good?
Yeah, probably giving charity, giving, feeding others. So like that, those things we might have done in our previous lives. And whatever we have done in our previous life will give us some facility in this life. Because material world means good and bad. Both are done. So whatever good we do gives us something good in this life. Whatever bad we do gives us something bad in this life. But when we come to Krishna consciousness, then Krishna moderates all those things. Even when there is something bad supposed to come, Krishna gives something good. Or something good is supposed to come, Krishna gives something bad. Because according to the devotee, whatever he actually requires to become fixed in his Krishna consciousness, then Krishna moderates those things. So generally, when we are in Krishna consciousness, we accept whatever Krishna gives. Krishna gives nice things, we accept it and then use it in Krishna's service. Krishna doesn't give nice things, we still will accept it, so we are free. We are not entangled, we are happy, that's it. That's how we live. Because it is good for us. That's the reason why we offer. Like the father is self-sufficient and the father is the provider of the child, but still the child actually takes whatever the father has given him. Like the father gives a cookie to the child takes the cookie from the father and then he breaks that cookie little bit and then he feeds it to the father. Says, "Father, please take." And the father feels so happy that he actually experiences bliss when the child actually does that. So it is whose cookie? The father's cookie. Not only the cookie, the father is maintaining the whole child. But when the child gives that little bit cookie back, the father feels so happy that, "Oh, my child is feeding me," like that. And then he becomes very affectionate to the child and he wants to take care of the child very nicely. So Krishna is also our eternal father, that instead of simply enjoying, when we take the heart to give something back to Krishna, "Krishna, please take it," and Krishna becomes so happy. Of course, finally this fellow has looked at me. He wants to serve me. He wants to give me something. So Krishna becomes very happy. Yeah. Another question? Yeah.
Guru, you were mentioning that the grahastha is serving the manaprastha, the brahmachari, the sannyasi. What about the service mood between grahasthas?
Of course, when they serve other people, they also serve each other. Because there's nice verse in Nectar of Instruction which says that dadati pratigrinati guhyam makyati prachati bhunkte bhogete chaiva shadvidam priti lakshanam. So this 6 types of loving exchanges, this has to happen between everyone. But grahasthas are duty bound to maintain these 3 classes of people. They are duty bound. That's the duty, that they should maintain brahmacharis, vanaprasthas and sannyasis. In that sense, I said that they are duty bound to do these things. The grahastha duties are framed in such a way that they have to always serve. So in that sense I mentioned, but it is very important that grahasthas also serve each other. It's a very good point that they should have cordial relationship, they should cooperate amongst themselves, and they should actually nicely serve each other, so that a cohesive Krishna conscious community is developed. And generally these 6 ways of loving exchange is very powerful way. Prabhupada actually in that purport mentions that the Krishna conscious movement is meant to foster this 6 type of loving exchange between devotees. So we should utilize the technique and we should very nicely build a very cohesive community. Very important. Thank you for pointing it out. Any other question? Yeah.
How does Yajna and the chanting of Hare Krishna come into this equation, into this picture?
Prabhupada says that one should actually offer 50%. He's talking about grahasthas, that he's saying that actually one should offer 50% of his wealth for Sankirtan movement. That for spreading the Sankirtan movement, a grahastha should offer 50% of his wealth. That's the Dadati principle Prabhupada talks about, that this is how they should do. Sometimes when we say 50%, then it may scare people away. But then at least one should start offering something. And then one should progressively offer more and more and more. One should not think that when we are offering something to the institution is benefiting by that offering. It's not that the institution is benefited by what donations we give. The same principle, that the institution is one way benefited, but the other way actually we are benefited because we are able to give it to the bona fide institution. Because in Kali Yuga, to find a bona fide institution to actually give our money is so difficult. This is the most difficult thing in Kali Yuga. Most 99.99% of the institutions in Kali Yuga are bogus. Like Prabhupada points out about these Daridra Narayana institutions. These institutions which actually make a big show of doing social work, but they claim that the man is Daridra Narayana. They are actually offending the lotus feet of the Lord. And by giving money to such institutions, we simply go to hell. So this is also dangerous. In Kali Yuga, giving charity to unqualified people is also so dangerous. So the very fact that there is a bona fide institution where we are able to give, we have to actually thank Prabhupada for that. That Prabhupada created a platform where actually one can give his wealth and become Krishna conscious. That itself is something great in Kali Yuga. Because you give somewhere in Krishna, in Kali Yuga, 99.99% people are unqualified. Simply they utilize the wealth for sense gratification. The so-called spiritual organizations, and most of them are Mayavadis, and rest of them are cheaters. So the spiritual organization in Kali Yuga is a very dangerous mix of Mayavadis and cheaters. So we are attracted to them, and then when we want to give something to them, we are actually making a disservice for ourselves. So very fact that ISKCON exists as a bona fide organization spreading the Sankirtana movement itself is a great boon for all the Grahasthas, because they have some place where they can give their wealth and they can actually get proper benefit. So this is something which we don't understand. Sometimes we don't process these things in our mind. We think, okay, why to give to the institution and that and this and things like that. There may be defects, there may be issues, there may be problems. And of course, as institution, we should not take it as an excuse. We should be very careful to actually address those defects, actually address those problems, become more transparent and utilize everything properly in Krishna. Every dime we should utilize properly in Krishna's service. Prabhupada actually says in one of the purports that money is coming and lot of money is coming and everything should be carefully utilized in Krishna's service. That should be the institution's mood, that we very carefully utilize every penny in Krishna's service. But as Grahasthas, we should also recognize that this is our most wonderful bona fide opportunity in order to purify ourselves. That we can become Krishna conscious by offering our wealth, offering our services, offering our whatever we have. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's mood, Manasa Deho Geho Jokichu Mor Arpilu Tua Pade Nandakishore. That opportunity to give everything, our mind, our body, our wealth, and whatever we have, to give everything in proper mood, in a proper place, in the most bona fide place in Kali Yuga, that institution has been created by Prabhupada, that itself is something very, very great for which we have to be eternally indebted for Prabhupada. So in that mood, we should actually deal with the institution. It's true that we should not point out anyone's negativity, but when I say as institution, we should also be careful, because I also wear a hat of the institution. So when I say that we have to be careful, I'm talking about myself as an institution man. So I wear two hats. I wear hat of a Grahastha and I also wear the hat of institution. So I speak on both sides. Sometimes I speak like Grahastha, sometimes I speak like institution. So I speak on both sides. So in this sense that I am only finding fault with myself. Yeah, it's correct. Yeah.
You seem to be objecting to your Narayan discussion.
Oh, Daridra Narayan discussion. Yeah, of course, we have to tell Mayavadis are idiots. We cannot do anything. This is our job. We have to tell that Mayavadis don't have brains, they are idiots. This is our job. This is our bound duty. We are duty bound to do it. If a Vaishnava does not preach against Mayavadi, there is a special hell for Vaishnava. So if we see Mayavadi, we have to tell him, fellow, you are brainless. We have to tell him. But that doesn't mean that we are envious of them. Because we simply want them to understand their defect and take up to Krishna consciousness. We cannot be friendly with Mayavadis. We cannot. By constitution, we cannot be. Just like a chaste woman can never be friendly with a prostitute, a devotee of Krishna can never be friendly with a Mayavadi. Constitutionally, they are against each other. Like a chaste woman is constitutionally against a prostitute. So she will always tell the prostitute is wrong. Same way, we will always tell that the Mayavadis are wrong. And this is our duty. We have to do it. We are duty bound to do it. We have to tell the fellow, you are telling Daridra Narayana, you are wrong. You don't have brain. How can Narayana become Daridra? He is Lakshmipati. To call him Daridra is offense. And to listen to that is a bigger offense for me. So why will I listen to him? If possible, I will also slap him. Because he is telling about my father. Why will I listen to the insult of my father? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that Mayavadis are saying that Krishna has no arms, Krishna has no legs, Krishna has no mouth. So how can we tolerate that? Such description. Ramanujacharya was weeping and his tears were so hot like boiling water because he could not accept the description which his so-called bogus guru was giving about Narayana. Became so angry with his guru. And he spoke to his guru, you are wrong. You cannot describe like this. And his guru wanted to kill him for that. He wanted to kill him. Oh, this fellow, he is objecting me, so I should kill him. But later he surrendered to Ramanuja. That's because Ramanuja was so proud. He was so proud that I am devotee of Lord. I cannot allow the insult of the devotee of the Lord. So we have to be like that. We should be like that. We are grandchildren of Lion Guru. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Great grandchildren of Lion Guru. We should have that mood. We should have that mood of Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that he is the only son of his spiritual master. And we are the sons of that only son. In South India, we have a saying that if mother can jump 8 feet, then the child should jump 16 feet. We should be like that. Of course, we cannot cross Prabhupada, but we should be very strict in what Prabhupada taught us. We can never compromise. We should never compromise. Not for preaching, and not compromising while preaching is our preaching. So Prabhupada says in the purport that according to etar hatam, he says, according to one's strength, one should follow these instructions. Okay, let's close the class. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.